Hi, in today's video I'm going to be recommending 10 books that you can read with young children. Some of these books are brand new and some of these books you can pick up second hand from Amazon. Okay, so the first book is called The Slightly Annoying Elephant. I really think this is a funny, engaging story about a boy who adopts an elephant, not realising that it would turn up at his house. It basically causes chaos and it breaks things. I really think there's a nice link here if you've been doing work around the tiger who came to tea. I think there's a great opportunity here for the children to predict what happens before you turn each page, because as the elephant moves through the different rooms, there's some really unpredictable things that happen. I think also it'd be great to roll this out into a role play area. If you're in the early years, you could have children dressed up in different masks visiting their home corner and causing a new story and a new bit of chaos that's happening there. Maybe recreating some of the previous stories like The Tiger Who Came to Tea, and then maybe adding their own twist to it. Next book's called Everybody Feels Angry. In this book, a selection of different children go through different situations that make them angry, such as someone drawing on their picture. It shows the reaction to these situations with anger and how that makes everyone sad, and then it shows examples of how children can calm down and how they can talk through their problems. I think this is really nice to support children that maybe do have an anger issue in your classroom. It might be nice to create new situations that are custom to your cohort and then ask the children to find out what they could do to respond and what they could do, maybe using some drama, act out some of those scenarios. The third book is called We're All Wonders. It's a really heartfelt book. It's basically about a child who looks different. He's very sad that the world can't see that he's a wonder. You know, he puts his spacesuit on, he travels to another planet. Basically he looks back at the world and he's just looking for people to notice him for the special person that he is. This book has a really beautiful quote that I think will really work well with talking about differences of people, confidence in who you are. Also, I think there's a lot about kindness to others in this book, and I think the main quote that says, "I can't change the way I look, but maybe people can change the way that they see." Next book hopefully will engage lots of people who are into football but maybe not into your book corner, and that is called Football Fever. Basically it's about a girl talking about her little brother becoming a fan of football, and she goes through all the kind of scenarios about how he's focused on football all the time, but at the end she also becomes a fan too. It's really engaging for children interested in this topic. It provides good talking points for some children to talk about their football teams. If you want to go down the kind of football theme, you can always then add on, practicing kicking a ball, keeping a score with a scoreboard, adding some writing in there. You could have a penalty shootout, you can practice all those numbers in there, and maybe, the teacher goes in goal. Next book is a new book called Please Mr. Panda. I really like this book because it's very simple. It's just all about a panda that basically goes around offering donuts, but no one says please until one animal at the end. It's quite surreal. It's really enjoyable. The children are really engaged with it. Basically, I would love to reenact this with a role play, predict why the panda won't give out his donuts in the first place, and then think of different situations where they should say please and thank you and why this is important. The next book is called Oi Frog. Basically, it's a funny story about a frog who wants to sit down on something comfier than a log, and each animal he meets, he sits on something that rhymes with their name. It has a funny ending with a dog sitting on the frog. I think that's really good for teaching a lot about rhyme. There's a lot of prediction there about what would rhyme with the different animals. They have things like cats sit on mats, lions sit on irons. I think, you could make rhyming picture cards of the animals and what they sit on and see if the children can match them. Next book goes along the same theme as The Tiger Who Came to Tea and The Slightly Annoying Elephant. It's about a gorilla. It's called Ding Dong Gorilla. Basically, it's a boy who orders a pizza but has a surprise when a gorilla turns up to cause havoc in the house. Very similar vein to the other stories. I think, from here you could imagine a different animal turning up at the house. What would they do? Could you do a story map linked to this? Where did the animals go? How did the boy react? The next book's a nice nursery book. It's called Funny Bunnies, Rain or Shine. I think in the morning when I'm talking to those young children about what the weather's like, this book's really very simple, and it shows some examples of different scenes where the bunnies are experiencing different types of weather. David Melling is the author here. I think it's great for nursery. It introduces different weather scenarios and situations. it makes links to clothing in different weathers. I think this book is very nice for Key Stage 1. It's called Six Dinner Sid. Basically it's about a naughty cat and it pretends to live in 6 different homes, so it travels around the homes and it gets 6 meals a day. You know, eventually then it gets caught out and it ends up getting poorly and going to the vet 6 times, and then they all work out that the cat has been greedy. I think it's a really good opportunity to talk about greed. You know, was it right for the cat to trick the people? Nice discussion points. And my final one might be strange, but I really like Where's Wally? And I think this version here has some great scenes. There's a beach, a town, a snowy scene, a campsite, train station, airport, sports stadiums, museums, boats, safari parks, shopping centres and a fairground. I think it's a really humorous book. I think that there's lots of funny pictures and scenes. It's engaging, particularly to some boys who aren't keen on reading, but I think I've used it in regards to developing speech and language to say, you know, I can see this, or what can you see? Maybe some of the higher ability children can add an adjective, so, you know, I can see a funny lion, they could say I see a funny roaring lion, or they can add some extra words in there, extend their sentences. I've also used it where I've photocopied some of the pages and I've had them up, and then the children have written about what they can see in the pictures, starting them off with a basic I can see. Also, I think this is also good, I use it as an exit question where you enlarge one of the pictures, put it on the board, and then before each child leaves you, at the end of maybe a little key group, you can say, what can you see? I can see. It just gives everyone a chance just to have a look. And also, if you have any second language children, it's really good that you can point and say, what's this called, and teach them some basic language. Final thing I'd say is that if you haven't got a visualizer in your classroom, you can pick up some cheap ones off Amazon. You can also pay a lot more for them. I think they're really, really good. Basically, if you don't know what they are, they're like a camera that focuses down onto your desk, and you can put anything underneath it and it will enlarge onto your whiteboard. I think really, really engaging for children, especially with books. You don't have to have the big copies of books. You can just put down a smaller version of the book and enlarge it on the big screen. You can turn all the lights down and it just absolutely blows the children away when it's on the big screen. It brings it to life. All of the books that I've mentioned have a Amazon link in the description of this video, so do click through, have a look at some of them. Like I said, some of them are full price, but some of them are only a penny, so it's well worth it. And I hope you found that video useful. Make sure to click and subscribe if you haven't already, and it will give you a notification when I've got some new videos coming up in the future. Thanks, bye.